Hi. First of all, there's a vlog that needs to be released. And it's been sitting in my camera roll for like 2 months. I don't know if I'm gonna release that. But last video, super popular with you guys, so I went ahead and I went through polls, and the second in place was Only Murders in the Building on Hulu. So I'm gonna watch that. This one I will be watching alone. That sounds depressing. So I'm gonna start that now, and I will hit you guys back before I start the second season and tell you guys whether or not. Peekaboo. What time is it?
2:05.
It is 2:05 p.m. Last time I talked to you guys, I did not know what time it was, but I'll just have Olive type that in here once I check the timestamp. So I finished season 1, and I do have a lot of thoughts, but first, let's do our usual review. So, a Hulu original, Only Murders in This Building, also supported by 20th Century Fox, is about 3 people living in the same New York City apartment complex called the Arconia, who meet one day and decide to solve a murder, basically. There's Mabel Mora, Oliver Putnam, and Charles Hayden Savage. Mabel Mora is just a regular chick who used to hang out in the Arconia when she was a kid and is currently renovating her aunt's apartment. Oliver Putnam is an ex-Broadway director whose life is pretty sad, actually. And Charles Hayden Savage is a aging actor who used to be on a show called Brazos. They refer to him as Brazos sometimes in the show, so, you know, that, and it's pretty significant to some other stuff that goes down, I guess. What with his stunt double being in an episode and with Jan herself. So I guess it's relevant-ish. I mean, not really. It's only referenced a few times in every couple episodes, I guess. But whatever. I think the whole, 3 unlikely people is really cute kind of thing, because you have the calm, kind of out about it old guy with Charles, and then you have the upbeat, optimistic character with Oliver, and then you have the nonchalant millennial type with Mabel. I think that's pretty cool. So, I had to stop recording because my dad was doing something. But, like I was saying, character-wise, pretty cool. The Hardy Boys thing, I feel like the show could have gone without. It wouldn't have been as good without the Hardy Boys thing, but I feel like it could have gone without it. You guys know what I mean.
Someone was calling the phone.
The Lucy plotline.
Someone was calling the phone.
Now, I know because of him texting her in the last episode, that has to become a bigger thing. That has to become a bigger thing, especially since she texted him back, so she's definitely going to be in season 2. And I feel like that did add a lot to Charles's character. So, also feel like that was a wise thing. And the whole Oliver struggling financially thing was it was a pretty nice nod to put in there too. And, hi Maxie. You guys have not met Max. This is Max. Owie! Hey. Well, if you saw my hot to go video, you met Max, but this is Max. He sucks. He's terrible. He's a menace. Anyway. So, here's the thing. I feel like this show split plot lines, and it made things a little weird. So, the whole jewelry thing with Teddy and Theo, and then the murder itself. Now, I understand how it ties in to Tim's murder with the whole Hardy Boys thing and Zoe on the roof. I totally get how that ties into it, especially because it was the reason why Theo was there in the first place was because of the ring, and she probably wouldn't have died without it. And they kind of needed the ring, especially since Actually, now that I'm explaining it, I guess it does make a lot more sense to put a secondary plot regarding jewelry in there, especially since the package she was waiting for was a ring. I guess that makes more sense. And what I thought was pretty cool was the stashing the jewelry in the Hardy Boys books. I thought that was awesome. Because it's a look on the past, and the whole jewelry finding thing is about the past and what had happened with Zoe. So I think that's pretty great. Now, here's my one problem with the show. By the 4th episode, I knew it was Jan. This might be because I read way too many murder mystery books. Like, I'm reading one right now called Swipe Right for Murder. I don't know if I would recommend that book to anybody. It is decent so far, but there are unsuspected things in it that might make you cry. That's all I can really say without being demonetized. It might just be because I watch too many, like, murder mystery shows, or maybe I spend too much time on murder mystery things that it's come to a point where I just look at context clues different. But, you know, it is what it is. The finale was crazy. Now, I knew Charles wouldn't die because there are 3 more seasons of this show. He's one of our main characters, you know. He's not going anywhere. Obviously. Maxie. Chill. Thank you. Now, I was so sad whenever they first showed the shot of Mabel in her apartment over the body, because obviously I thought it was going to be Oscar. Olive knows what to do. And I was like, dang, this sucks, because he just was like just getting his life back on track and whatnot, you know? But the fact that it was Bunny, I loved Bunny. She was such a capital B. Loved her. She was great. It is an amazing cliffhanger, though. Especially when it comes to podcasts, there's always a cliffhanger at, like, the very end. Especially if it's a podcast that's going to follow up with the 2nd season. Like, if you've ever listened to the Magnus Archives. You know? In the 1st season, it's, like, John, like, slowly doing stuff. And then the end with Sasha, you know, and him, like, gonna die. And you think, oh my god, John or Martin is gonna be dead. And then it turns out that John and Martin are totally fine, and John's just losing his mind now. Like that. I think that's pretty cool, especially since the premise is them making a podcast, so they end it like they would end a podcast, like with a huge cliffhanger at the end. So that was actually, I feel like that's pretty intelligent on the writer's part. Moral of the story, as far as the Hulu original Only Murders in the Building goes, season 1, watch it. Totally cool. Anyway. Goobs and goobettes, I have officially finished season 2. Lie. Bold-faced lie. I finished season 2 like an hour ago. I'm actually on, I think, the 4th episode of season 3. It is really early. It is 6:33 a.m. Yippee. I fell asleep, which is why it is the next day, as opposed to having finished this yesterday, which I would have if I hadn't fallen asleep. But, okay, season 2. So, in season 2, Oliver, Charles, and Mabel are back at it again, and it is Bunny who is dead this time. Now, my predictions going in is that it was either Uma or someone working with Cinda, or Cinda herself. Those were my theories going in. When I say Uma, I'm talking about the downstairs lady, not the old Uma. The one that sells gut milk is the one that I'm talking about. So here we have our 3 mains, arrested for murder in the finale. And then it's this whole thing where everybody calls Mabel Bloody Mabel because she had blood all over her. And someone is working to frame Mabel by stabbing Bunny and then using Mabel's knitting needle as the final blow. Now, the reason this works to frame her is because in the first episode of the podcast and the show itself, she did mention to quote, that she has a reoccurring dream where she's in bed and there's a man standing over her, and she gets up and grabs her knitting needle and just goes to town with that thing. So this is obviously very, very incriminating to her. So a season 2 wrap is basically Bunny's dead. They need to get Mabel in the clear and keep up with whatnot. Plot twists in this season. Loved them. The Alice plot thing, kinda unnecessary, I'm not gonna lie. Did it make for a really cool finale? Yes. But not a huge fan. The whole, oh my goodness. Oliver not being Will's dad? That was insane. Like, that was crazy. Learning more about Mabel and learning more about her dad, especially since she talked about her dad to and fro in the first season. It was really nice that we got to learn what happened with her dad. Theo redemption arc, that was really cute. I loved him from the start. I always thought, like, this kid didn't mean to do anything wrong, you know? So Theo redemption arc was great. With the little Coney Island thing. Love the crooked cop angle. I'm a sucker for a crooked cop angle. Always love those. Mostly because I think they're hilarious. I don't know if that's like a popular opinion. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. I don't know. Dude. Poppy being Becky and Becky not being dead. I have never seen a better callback in my life. They called back what started the whole entire series for a killer. Crazy. Love that. I'm not gonna lie. Towards the end of the third episode, I kind of knew it was Poppy. Mostly because she's super sketchy. And I mean, her character is this undermined, treated like crap girl who just wants to make it, you know? And what better way to do that than to commit a murder and then make a podcast about solving that murder? I mean, you gotta give her credit. It was a pretty good angle. The Rose, what's her name thing? That was something. I did like getting to know more about Charles's dad, especially with our first major interaction between Charles and Mabel being about Charles's dad. It was fun to, learn about his dad. And I loved the Rose Cooper character. She was hilarious. Okay, that's my kind of old lady. I'm saying a lot. It's because I'm tired. We have 2 more seasons to go. So that's cool. The thing about it is that now this works differently. If you're watching the series as it releases, you don't know whether or not Charles is going to make it because you do not know if there's going to be a 3rd season of this show. If you're watching the series after the fact of all the seasons being released, you know that Charles is going to make it because of when he gets stabbed in the finale. That is an iffy thing for me. I've looked into some opinions online, so I'm going to hit you with my unpopular opinion. I liked season 2 better than I liked season 1. A reason being, it was funnier, the finale was more gripping, especially with them accusing Cinda and then turning around and accusing Alice and then turning around and accusing Poppy. You know, I liked how they cut the 14 and Savage thing. They started with 14 for Savage being the price of the painting to frame Alice, and then they switched to what Bunny had actually said, which was 14 sandwich, referring to the marmalade and liverwurst sandwich that Poppy ordered. I love the Rose Cooper connection because the painting was a thing in the first place with Uma and Harold is his name, right? Howard or Harold, the cat guy. The cat guy. You guys know who I'm talking about. The painting incorporating all the way towards the end and not just being a plot point for Charles's dad, I thought that was really cool. Because and the misdirects are crazy here. Because 14 for Savage could have worked with Alice. The Rose Cooper reference works with the conversation between Poppy and Cinda whenever Cinda stormed off and said that she was going to figure it out herself, making it sound like she was going to commit a murder for her podcast. But the fact that Poppy White was Becky Butler the whole time was an insane plot twist that I totally loved. And I love the little, like, end finale scene where they show, like, how she got where she was, you know, what with, the cop and meeting him in Oklahoma, whatnot. I thought that was pretty cool. Overall, I would give, and I don't know if I already said this, season 1, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Season 2, I would give maybe a 9.1 out of 10. 9.1, 8.9 out of 10. Because there are some, like, little things that just, because Oscar was such a big thing in season 1 and then we didn't see him at all in season 2. I do love that we slowly made Lucy a thing in season 1 and then brought her into season 2, though. I love that. Anyway, I'm going to get back to season 3. I love you lots. And I will see you guys whenever I am done. Or if this takes me another day. Okay. Alright. I have words. I have quite a few words. So. We are officially done with Only Murders in the Building season 3. And I don't know. Listen, it was good, yeah. And it was fun. But what? You know? Like, huh? It's kind of like, what just happened? You know? Also, what? Okay. Let's flush. So, Only Murders in the Building season 3 takes place a year after the events of season 2. And there's a bit going on. Mabel is finally leaving the Arconia, as we know, she never actually lived there. She was renovating for her aunt. Oliver is officially back on Broadway. And Charles is taking to Broadway. Sorry, I got a new lip liner. I wanted to see what the shade looked like. Only Murders in the Building Season 3. Let's talk about it. So in Season 3, Oliver is putting on a Broadway show called Death Rattle. That is about, I don't know. It's about a baby committing murder. I tried to understand it, but I just couldn't. The fullest extent that I can give you is a baby commits a murder, and then a nanny kills the main character of the play. That's all I got. But, okay. And this season's murder victim is one Ben Glenroy, a famous actor who is poisoned and then collapses on stage opening night. Sad, sad tale. And then shows up at the rap party. Now, as per usual, we see Ben die in the season 2 finale. This is because that's how the show works. It follows up with a murder. They solve a case, and then at the very end of the finale, someone else gets murdered. It's just how it works. Olive, if you could blur that out that just happened down here, that'd be great. Cover this up. But, like I was saying, basically, what's happened here, he pulls up to the rap party, and then our main three, Mabel, Oliver, and Charles, get in the elevator. Down goes the Benny boy. He falls from the elevator shaft as he was pushed into an empty elevator shaft given that the elevator was stuck and not working, therefore just an empty open shaft, which he was pushed down, landed on top of the elevator, and then fell through. Pretty sightly. Also, poor Uma. I can't believe she had to see that. I love her. Cranky old Uma. Like I said before, my kind of old lady. And it is revealed by the end that the murderer was Donna and Cliff. Donna and Cliff are the producers of Death Rattle. Well, by the end it's called Death Rattle Dazzle. Because Oliver turns it into a musical. With crab men. I already said it. I don't get it. Maybe there are people in the world that do understand it. If you want an explanation of what the play was about, you have to click on another video. I'm sorry, but that's your investigation, babe. I tried. I did not get it. Looked into it, couldn't figure it out. Made no sense to me. It might just be a me thing, though. By all means, try. However, moving on. So, when Ben is poisoned, it's Donna having put rat poison on a cookie she put in his dressing room. When he is pushed through the elevator shaft, it is Cliff having pushed him in a heat of the moment thing where they're fighting in the hallway of the Arconia. Now, everybody falls in love this season. Well, Charles isn't. Charles falls out. Well, Joy falls out of love with Charles. Oliver falls for Loretta. Love them, they're so cute. Mabel falls for Taubert. I wish I pronounced that wrong. Sadly, I did not. And by the end of the season, they're all going to LA. And we know why. Now that season 4 is being it's still released, we know why. Because they're making it into a movie. But Pretty cool setup, though, the way they did that. What with Loretta going to LA for Family Burn Unit, and what's his name going to LA for his indie film, and, well, I don't know why Charles was going to LA. Did he have a reason? Is he following Joy there? I just finished this finale. Why do I not know this? I don't think he has a reason. I think he's just going because they're going. I'm pretty sure. Is the collar of my neck too big? Like, if I... Can you see my... Yeah. As opposed to a casual, like... I don't know. Sorry. Totally off topic. Anyway. And our season 4 murder victim is none other than Saz, the stunt double that has been around since season 1, by the way, for Charles Hayden Savage. Now, here's the thing. This season, like season 3, they used somebody who hasn't been around that long. And then they switched right back to the, like, been here for a hot minute. Like, in season 1, okay, because of the whole Hardy Boys thing with Mabel, there was already somebody who knew Tim Kono very well. Out of the 3, I mean, and he had been living in the Arconia all his life, so Charles and Oliver kind of had a sense, and so did everybody else in the building. Bunny, everybody knew Bunny, because, I mean, she was the board director of she was the main guy in the Arconia, and we all know Saz, because Saz has known Charles for years, and befriended Mabel and Oliver through the seasons. We're 3 seasons deep. She's known them for at least a year. But I feel like if you're gonna throw in Ben Glenroy as, like, our murder victim here for season 3, somebody we don't really know at all, then you should probably keep that trend going. I might just be saying this because I'm biased and I love Saz's vibe, but I feel like if you're gonna switch from well-known characters to, and when I say well-known, I mean basically like well-known by our 3 main characters, Oliver, Mabel, and Charles, you shouldn't switch from well-known characters to new characters and then back to well-known characters. If you're gonna switch like that, you should keep it the other way, you know? Like, say you were switching from random characters to well-known characters. That's okay, stick with well-known characters. Or maybe it was an accident, switch right back to strangers. Doesn't matter. But if you're switching from well-known characters to strangers, you can't just switch right back to well-known characters. You have to be bringing somebody back, somebody that's vindictive or something, which kind of takes the whole, like, out of the show. You know? Because that's what happens. Is it's well-known people, and then it's a stranger, and then it's somebody you know again. It seems vindictive. It makes it seems as though your killer is someone you know, someone you've wronged. You know? You know? And I'm not gonna say, like, oh, I think so-and-so killed Saz, or this, or that. No, it's not any of our previous killers because they're all locked up. It can't be Becky, it can't be Jan, it can't be Cliff or Donna. Who shot her? Who shot Saz? Now, here's the thing. I am not going to start season 4 today. Reason being, season 4 has yet to completely release. Now, season 4 releases 1 episode every Monday. It is Friday right now. I think it's every 2 Mondays. Actually, hang on. So the final episode of season 4 will be airing on October 29th. So I will fill you guys in then. That's right, it is a 2-parter. Now, this was not the original plan. When Olive hit me with the show results of what I would be watching, she told me that it was completely released. I was like, but didn't season 4 just come out? Is it doing a slow release? And she was like, no, it's all out, good to go. Olive was wrong. And that's okay. It's fine. It just means that this is going to be a 2-parter. And that is okay. Will you be waiting around about a month for the next part? Yes. However, it'll be worth it. It's me. I'm kidding. That was the most egotistical. Olive, please. Thing that's ever come out of my mouth. That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. Just know it'll be worth it. Anyway. Wow. I guess that wraps it up. Season 4 made such a small amount of sense. I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. It was funny. It had good conflict. It was a fun here and there. I loved seeing Theo again. I loved the throw-in of Mabel learning some ASL to be able to communicate with him better. And I am very excited to see this 4th season. So, as far as seasons 1 through 3 of the Hulu original Only Murders in the Building, starring Selena Gomez, goes, yes, you should watch it. I strongly recommend. If you are into murder mystery shows, it is a great murder mystery show to watch. And it's not a repetitive thing either. It's not always who you least suspect. You know? Who was our killer in season 1? Jan? Yeah. So our season 1 killer was super unexpected. But then in season 2 and 3, it's fun because the audience gets to solve this with our characters and sometimes figure it out before they even do. And they threw in season 3, they threw in the double killer thing. I'm gonna be so real. Part through episode 5, I was like, oh my god, it's Donna. But I had no idea Cliff was involved. And that was the first for me since starting this series, so that was pretty cool. That was pretty fun. And it was a little obvious for us that Poppy/Becky was the killer in season 2, but it makes up for it with the plot twist that Poppy is actually Becky Butler and that she never went missing. And that all is not okay, it's a total sham. Anyway, that is all for this video. I love you lots, Jelly Tots, and as always, don't drown in the shower.